Winning Album of the Year at the Grammys is one of the highest honors in music. In this video, we'll look at the Grammy Album of the Year winner of each year, from 2010 to 2025. 2010, Fearless by Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's Fearless was a cultural phenomenon, catapulting the young country pop star into global superstardom. Featuring massive hits like Love Story and You Belong With Me, the album perfectly blended country storytelling with pop appeal, making it an ideal choice for Grammy voters. It wasn't just a commercial juggernaut, it was also critically acclaimed. The nominees that year included Beyoncé's I Am Sasha Fierce, Lady Gaga's The Fame, and the Black Eyed Peas' The End, all huge albums. The Fame defined pop music in the late 2000s, with hits like Poker Face, but the pop voters were divided between Beyoncé and Gaga, which led to the breakthrough star Taylor to take home the award at just 20 years old.
Oh wow, thank you so much. I just hope that you know how much this means to me.
2011, The Suburbs by Arcade Fire. Arcade Fire, an indie rock band with a devoted following but little mainstream recognition, took home Album of the Year for The Suburbs in 2011. The win was surprising for many. It was a critical darling, scoring 87 out of 100 on Metacritic. It was more underground than a commercial juggernaut, which made the win even more surprising. The nominees list was stacked, with Lady Gaga's The Fame Monster, Eminem's Recovery, Katy Perry's Teenage Dream, and Lady Antebellum's Need You Now, which all were genre-defining albums that sold way more records. But Arcade Fire's victory was a clear departure from the mainstream and a left-field choice.
Thank you. We're gonna go play another song because we like music, so thank you, the Grammys.
2012, 21 by Adele. This is one of the easiest Grammy wins to justify. Adele's 21 was not just a great album, it was a once-in-a-generation kind of success, ending the decade as the best-selling album of the 2010s. The album dominated the charts and was also critically acclaimed. That year, the competition included Wasting Light by Foo Fighters, Doo-Wops and Hooligans by Bruno Mars, and Loud by Rihanna. While Born This Way and Loud delivered pop anthems and commercial success, they couldn't really compete with 21. Ultimately, it was the perfect storm, as Adele swept the Grammys that year.
First of all, I want to say, Mom, girl did good.
2013, Babel by Mumford & Sons. Babel winning Album of the Year is one of the most divisive choices in Grammy history. While the folk rock album was a commercial success, many felt that it played things too safe. The other nominees were Frank Ocean's Channel Orange, Fun's Some Nights, Jack White's Blunderbuss, and the Black Keys' El Camino. Channel Orange was widely considered the most forward-thinking and artistic album in the category, blending R&B and soul elements in a way that felt fresh. In retrospect, many felt that Channel Orange should have won due to its lasting impact.
Thank you very much. Our makers and keepers, and we love it very much. Thank you.
2014, Random Access Memories by Daft Punk. French electronic duo Daft Punk won the coveted Album of the Year award in 2014 with Random Access Memories, becoming a first for an electronic dance music album. Featuring hits like Get Lucky, the album was an instant classic. It was a well-crafted and boundary-pushing album that defined the genre. However, some argue that Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City was the more impactful and culturally significant album that has stood the test of time. Taylor Swift's Red was another strong contender, solidifying her transition into pop superstardom. She even thought for a second that she won it when the award was announced.
We are Random Access Memories, some of us more random than others.
2015, Morning Phase by Beck. In one of the most surprising Album of the Year wins, Beck's Morning Phase beat out competition from pop, hip-hop, and rock heavyweights. It was a beautifully crafted album, but was far from the most impactful release of the year. Beyoncé's self-titled visual album was a game-changer, redefining how artists release music with a surprise drop and innovative visual storytelling. Sam Smith's In the Lonely Hour also had a massive mainstream success, while Pharrell Williams' Girl had one of the year's biggest hits. The moment Kanye West faked like he was walking onto the stage when Beck won seemed to symbolize how many people felt, as Beyoncé has never done well in this category.
Hi, Prince.
2016, 1989 by Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's full-blown transition into pop music with 1989 was a major success. Filled with massive hits, the album became known as the Pop Bible and one of the most commercially successful albums of that year. Its win over Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly sparked controversy. Kendrick's album was an artistic masterpiece, tackling racial and political themes, becoming one of the most critically acclaimed albums of all time. The Grammys' historical struggle to recognize hip-hop's significance made this loss even more frustrating, but 1989 was the safe choice, so it won.
Be people along the way who will try to undercut your success or take credit for your accomplishments or your fame.
2017, 25 by Adele. Adele's 25 continued her streak of dominating the Grammys. The album was commercially huge, selling millions of copies worldwide and reaffirming Adele's status as one of the biggest artists of all time. While 25 was a strong album, Beyoncé's Lemonade was seen as the clear winner because of its huge cultural impact and genre-blending experimentation. It is still considered as the best album of her career. Even Adele herself admitted on stage that Beyoncé deserved the award, making it one of the most controversial wins in Grammy history. But we know Beyoncé never wins Album of the Year.
My artist of my life is Beyoncé, and this album for me, the Lemonade album, was just so monumental. Beyoncé, it was so monumental.
2018, 24 Karat Magic by Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars' 24 Karat Magic took home the biggest award of the night in 2018. The album, filled with infectious grooves and throwback vibes, dominated with hits like That's What I Like and Finesse. It was a tight 10-track album that totally dominated the charts. While 24 Karat Magic was undeniably fun and well-produced, it winning over Kendrick Lamar's Damn was controversial. Damn was Kendrick's most commercially successful album. It even won a Pulitzer Prize for its storytelling. Also in the race were Lord's Melodrama, a critically acclaimed pop album, and Jay-Z's 444, an introspective and personal project from one of rap's greatest stars. 24 Karat Magic is a great album, but it was definitely the safer choice. Have you noticed that most of these albums have numbers in their titles? Interesting.
I love you guys. Thank you so much. I don't know. This is incredible.
2019, Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves. Golden Hour was a great country pop album that moved the genre forward. It was a defining moment in country music, and the win even surprised Casey, as she was not expecting it. It had strong competition from albums like Drake's Scorpion, which was a commercial juggernaut, Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy, which won Rap Album of the Year, and Janelle Monáe's Dirty Computer, which was the hipster pick. Golden Hour was the best and most accessible album on the list, and it deserved this Grammy.
Oh my god. I don't even know what to say.
2020, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go by Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish's debut album was a game changer, introducing a dark minimalist sound to mainstream pop. It helped redefine what a successful pop album could sound like. It was undeniably influential and commercially massive, but it faced tough competition. Ariana Grande's Thank You Next was a deeply personal and successful pop album that dominated the charts. Lana Del Rey's Norman fucking Rockwell was hailed as a masterpiece, blending classic rock and poetic lyricism. Lizzo's Cause I Love You was a bold, energetic statement, but Billie swept the Grammys that year, winning all 4 major categories, and the album's dominance makes it a deserving winner. But in her acceptance speech, she shouted out Ari.
I just say that I think Ariana deserves this. Thank You Next got me through some shit, and I think it deserves, like, more than anything in the world. I love you so much.
2021, Folklore by Taylor Swift. Folklore was a pandemic-era surprise that stripped away Taylor's usual pop sound in favor of indie folk storytelling. It showed a new side of her, becoming one of the most defining albums of the early 2020s. It was beautifully written and a major risk that paid off. However, it was up against Dua Lipa's Future Nostalgia with a near-flawless tracklist. There was also Hollywood's Bleeding by Post Malone, which blended pop, rock, and hip-hop effortlessly. After Hours was snubbed from the categories, while Future Nostalgia had the bigger mainstream impact. Folklore really epitomized the COVID era and deserved its win.
Thank you so much, and thank you to the Recording Academy. We'll never forget that you did this for us. Thank you so much.
2022, We Are by John Baptiste. When the 2022 Grammy Album of the Year went to John Baptiste's We Are, many were surprised. The album has elements of jazz, soul, and R&B, reflecting his New Orleans roots. While the album was celebrated for its artistry, its win was unexpected. Considering the competition, the nominees included Olivia Rodrigo's Sour, a pop phenomenon that dominated everything, Billie Eilish's Happier Than Ever, which showcased her growth as an artist, and Doja Cat's Planet Her, a genre-blending project that dominated the charts. John Baptiste's Victory was seen as a left-field choice, just to keep things interesting.
Good night. Hey!
2023, Harry's House by Harry Styles. Harry's House was the album that Harry Styles really hit his groove. The album was a standout, with tracks like As It Was totally dominating the charts. For that year, the contenders included Beyoncé's Renaissance, a dance-infused project that was critically acclaimed, Adele's 30, a deeply personal exploration of love and loss, and Bad Bunny's Un Verano Sin Ti, which brought Latin rhythms to a global audience. Many thought Beyoncé should have won this, as Harry felt like the safer choice, and her history of not winning Album of the Year continued.
This doesn't happen to people like me very often, and this is so nice. Thank you very, very much.
2024, Midnights by Taylor Swift. Midnight saw Taylor Swift returning to her pop roots, crafting a concept album that had polished production, which became the best-selling album of the year. It is one of my favorite albums from her discography. In the list of nominees, Midnight stood out. The nominees included Guts by Olivia Rodrigo, which was a great follow-up to her debut, and SOS by SZA, which became one of the biggest albums of the year and expanded her sound. Many thought the Grammy should have gone to SOS, but the impact of Midnights was undeniable.
Mind blown. Thank you so much.
2025, Cowboy Carter by Beyoncé. Cowboy Carter was a bold artistic statement from Beyoncé, blending country, soul, and R&B elements to explore themes of identity, heritage, and resilience. The album was critically acclaimed and spawned a couple of hits. The nomination list was very stacked. Taylor Swift's The Tortured Poets Department was the biggest album in the category. Charli XCX's Brat was the most critically acclaimed. Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish was the most cohesive. Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter was the one with the most hits. And The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess by Chappell Roan was the hipster pick. In a great year for music, Beyoncé finally got her first Album of the Year win, as she is the most awarded artist in Grammy history.
I just feel very full and very honored. It's been many, many years.
What album do you think deserved this win the most? Tell me in the comments below.